Did you think the F-35 was the king of the sky? Get ready because Japan has just awakened a technological monster that makes American planes look like museum pieces. It is not just a plane, it is the start of a new era where stealth and artificial intelligence rule. Today I am going to tell you everything about that Japanese beauty that left many with their mouths open. But before we start, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and leave your like for more. Let's begin. The news that has shaken command centers this February of 2026 is not a simple hallway rumor. It is a reality of steel, titanium, and carbon fiber that has left Pentagon analysts scratching their heads in disbelief. The project we previously knew as the F-X has mutated into a real and palpable beast, the imposing Mitsubishi F-3. We are talking about a sixth-generation monster that stops the scale at nearly 25 tons when loaded to the teeth for combat. This Japanese giant was not only born to patrol the archipelago, but to impose a technological superiority so absurd that it makes other countries' planes look like simple paper kites flying in a park. The engineers at Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, working in the ultra-secret facilities of Nagoya, have achieved what seemed impossible until just a few months ago, putting the firepower of a complete naval destroyer into the stylized body of a combat plane. The Mitsubishi F-3 uses an advanced ceramic coating technology that absorbs radar waves in such a brutal way that its signature on enemy screens is smaller than that of a grain of sand in the middle of a snowstorm. It is estimated that the total investment has exceeded $40 billion, a figure that scares anyone, but is justified when you see this plane reach speeds of 3,700 kilometers per hour without its structures suffering the slightest damage from air friction. To achieve that sustained hypersonic speed, the heart of this beast are two IHI XF91 engines, jewels of engineering that have rendered Western thrusters obsolete. These are not normal engines. They are miniaturized power plants that generate a combined thrust of more than 33,000 pounds each. But the true revolution is in their high-power integrated starter generator. This system produces so much excess electricity, close to 180 kilowatts, that the plane can power directed energy weapons without losing flight power. Yes, you heard right. The F-3 does not just fire conventional missiles, it is equipped with a high-power microwave emitter capable of frying the electronic circuits of missiles that try to shoot it down in mid-flight. Furthermore, the design of the exhaust nozzle features a three-dimensional thrust vectoring system with serrated edges for stealth. This allows it to perform maneuvers that defy gravity, turning on its own axis as if it were a UFO, something vital to survive in the disputed airspace of the Pacific. And let's not forget its ability to act as a mothership. In simulated tests of this 2026, it has been confirmed that a single F-3 can control a swarm of 4 combat drones known as loyal wingmen, using them as shields or remote missile launchers while the pilot stays safe in the rear. But the true nightmare for rivals is the offensive electronic warfare capability that this Titan hides under its wings. The F-3 doesn't need to fire to win. Its new generation jamming system can hack enemy communication networks hundreds of kilometers away, leaving hostile squadrons blind and deaf in the middle of the sky. Intelligence reports suggest that its central computer uses quantum algorithms to break the encryption codes of incoming missiles in real time, diverting them as if they were remote control toys. It is a level of digital dominance that transforms the battlefield into a game of chess where Japan always has a 3-move advantage over any opponent. Furthermore, this technological supremacy renders traditional dogfighting obsolete, forcing adversaries to retreat before engagement even begins. Military analysts warn that such capability creates an impenetrable shield, effectively signaling a terrifying new era where the victor is decided before the first engine ignites. The craziest thing of all is that the fuselage of this plane functions like a living neural network. Every centimeter of the Mitsubishi F-3's skin is integrated with smart micro-sensors known as active antenna skin. This allows the plane to not only look forward like old fighters, but to feel absolutely everything happening in the 360 degrees around it. If an enemy missile tries to approach from a blind spot, the plane's artificial intelligence system detects it by the slightest change in atmospheric pressure or heat signature before the human pilot even has time to blink. It is a technological integration that puts Japan on the absolute throne of world aviation, leaving American engineers reviewing their blueprints with a nervousness not seen since the Cold War. But tell me, what do you think of this so far? Do you believe this beast beats them all? Leave your answer in the comments and don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell, and leave your like. Let's continue. The Mitsubishi F-3 would be nothing without its power plant, the IHI-XF91 engine. We are talking about a variable flow turbofan engine that is an authentic jewel of engineering. To give you an idea of the magnitude, this engine is capable of withstanding turbine temperatures of up to 1,800 degrees Celsius. That is savagery that allows the plane to generate a thrust of more than 15 tons per engine with the afterburner at max. But what really leaves American fighters in the shadow is the electrical capacity of this engine. Each of the two IHI-XF91 engines generates 180 kilowatts of energy. If you do the math, you have 360 kilowatts running through the veins of this plane. That is much more energy than an American F-35 can produce. And what do the Japanese want so much electricity for? Well, to power a directed energy weapon system, that is, high-power lasers, and an electronic warfare system that can blind any enemy radar within a radius of hundreds of kilometers. And let's not forget the three-dimensional thrust vectoring nozzles. The Mitsubishi F-3 can move its exhaust outlets up to 20 degrees in any direction. This gives it maneuverability that seems to defy the laws of physics, allowing it to make turns so tight that no current missile could keep up with its pace. The latest generation composite materials, joined by an adhesive molding technique that eliminates the need for rivets, make the structure 1.6% lighter than that of any conventional fighter, allowing the plane to be faster, more agile, and carry much more fuel for long-range missions without being detected. But don't think this plane goes to war alone, because here is where things get really cinematic. The Mitsubishi F-3 is designed to be the mothership for a swarm of autonomous drones called Loyal Wingmen. These drones, developed by Subaru Corporation and Mitsubishi, fly ahead of the main fighter to take the first shots or to illuminate targets with their own radars without the piloted plane having to reveal its position. It is a team tactic where artificial intelligence makes decisions in milliseconds, allowing a single pilot to control up to 3 or 4 of these mini combat planes. Can you imagine being in a cockpit without seeing a single physical button? Only with augmented reality projections in your helmet while directing an army of drones? Well, that is the reality Japan has put on the table this 2026. The capacity of this plane to process data is 10,000 times superior to that of current systems, turning the sky into a chessboard where the enemy has already lost before starting. And what is really scary about the Mitsubishi F-3 is that, when you see it fly, it looks like it carries nothing. But the reality is that inside it is a technological powder keg. To maintain that god-level stealth, Japanese engineers designed an internal weapons compartment that is absolute space engineering madness. Unlike old planes where missiles hang from the wings and shine on enemy radars like a Christmas tree, on this fighter, everything goes hidden behind doors that open and close in a fraction of a second, barely the time needed to spit fire and disappear again. In the belly of this beast, we find space for 6 long-range missiles of the JOTA-NAAM type, which is the acronym for Joint New Air-to-Air Missile. This missile is a development between Japan and the United Kingdom that uses a very advanced active electronically scanned array radar seeker. Imagine a projectile that has its own ultra-smart eye to chase the enemy, even if they try to make desperate evasive maneuvers. But that is not all, because the Mitsubishi F-3 can also carry the new hypersonic cruise missile that Japan has been testing this year 2026, capable of reaching naval targets hundreds of kilometers away before the enemy ship knows it is being attacked. And if you ask yourself what happens when the missiles run out, that is where the energy I mentioned before comes into play. Thanks to those 360 kilowatts of power, the plane is prepared to carry microwave weapons and short-range lasers. These systems do not need physical ammunition, only energy, and serve to fry the sensors of missiles launched at the plane, or even to shoot down enemy drones with a beam of invisible light. It is, literally, taking Star Wars to the stratosphere, leaving any opponent without real defense options. If you thought flying a fighter was being surrounded by buttons and screens, the Mitsubishi F-3 is going to show you that you live in the past. In this 2026, Japanese engineers have completely eliminated physical instruments. The pilot enters a clean cockpit, puts on his augmented reality helmet, and suddenly, the entire plane becomes transparent before his eyes. Thanks to high-resolution cameras distributed throughout the fuselage, the pilot can literally look through his own feet to see what is under the plane. It is a total vision experience that gives him a tactical advantage that no F-22 or F-35 pilot has ever had. But what has really left the United States in the shadow is not just the technology, but the political message Japan has sent this February. By leading the GCAP program together with the British and Italians, Japan has made it clear that it no longer needs to ask permission or technology from Washington to be the king of the sky. We are facing a Japanese military renaissance not seen since the Second World War. This plane is proof that technological sovereignty now lives in Tokyo. With an investment that already touches 18,600 million euros just for the European and Japanese part, the Mitsubishi F-3 has become the axis of a new alliance seeking to dominate the Pacific and stop any advance by other powers without depending on anyone else. This machine is not just a weapon, it is the symbol of a Japan that has decided to stop being a supporting actor to become the absolute protagonist of global defense. The impact has been so great this year that even other European countries are asking for permission to enter the project, desperate not to be left behind at the speed Mitsubishi is burning stages. It is ultimately the plane no one believed Japan could build alone, and here we have it, furrowing the skies and redefining what air power means in the middle of 2026. That brings us to the end. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and leave your like. See you later.